Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome. I am going to attempt to take the RailDriver out for a spin. First time ever. Okay, so you should be able to see the wonder that is the RailDriver Train Sim World. So I know the basics. This is the BR Class 52 in blue, part of the Diesel Legends DLC for the DLC. And I bought this to see if the immersion level that I'm looking for could be achieved by spending hundreds of pounds on a controller unit. That really need not be the case. Still making my mind up on this, about how I feel about it. The very first time I took off using this, there was definitely an immersion boost, but I've had some problems with it, and Train Sim World is pretty much participating in getting on my nerves in this regard. Right, let's release the brakes. Get some lights on. Close the doors. Okay, so we're just waiting for 2 minutes past 7 and we can roll on. It's about 30 seconds away. Lights should be on dim. And, oh yeah. PSD on, AWS on. Now, I've had some issues with this. I don't really know the 52, so I'm kind of learning it as I'm playing it, which is probably not advisable. Okay, here we go. Now obviously I'd love to have head tracking, and I've got really poor audio. It's so not immersive. I've got some some things to discuss about Dovetail games, Train Sim World. Don't know if you saw my little video review of their upcoming hotfix. No, what do they call it? The roadmap video. I don't know this route, by the way. 40 mile an hour. Okay, 40 mile an hour. So yeah. Right, now this has been catching me out a lot. For this, you have to stand up and sit back down again. What is that? What do I have to press to get that to work? Doesn't appear to be explained anywhere. Brakes off. Throttle is at 65%. The brakes, in my humble opinion, are off. What am I missing? none the wiser. So in Train Sim World, you cannot configure anything. You can't change any of the button binds, you can't... All you can do is calibrate. And to be honest with you, I don't think it calibrates particularly well. Certainly what's being represented on the screen does not represent what I'm doing on here particularly well. It is a beta RailDriver. See, that time it worked, but it doesn't work properly. And I can't figure out what it is that's stopping it from working. Now, I've had this problem before when I was trying to in fact, I think I might know what it is. When I was trying to use my throttle, my X56 throttle, I found that if my throttle was engaged at any time, anything other than neutral, it killed the FPS and nothing else worked. Like none of the other buttons worked, or even keyboard keybinds. Nothing worked at all. I'm just wondering if it's that. So the next time that alert comes on, I'm going to stick this throttle into what I believe to be neutral, and we'll see. So I press the alert button and it's killing the engine. And now that's not working at all. Right, let's try this again. See if we can figure out what's doing this. Again, the brake pipe is creeping up. Certainly not moving, are we? It's full throttle, and we're just starting to move. The handbrake isn't on, even though I'm pressing the release button. So what the hell is making that behave that way? I'm not going to press the alert button this time. Let's just double check this, right? Settings, controls, advanced controls, BR52, gamepad, reset safety systems. That's what it says it does. That is what it says it does, but it doesn't do that at all. I'm not going to press it this time, I'm going to press Q instead. Like I say, you can't rebind anything yourself, which is ridiculous. See, if I press Q it works. So this, I think, is the problem. And even when I was pressing Q it doesn't do anything, so I had to stand up, sit down before that worked. I don't know if it's the RailDriver that's doing this, I don't know if it's just typical Dovetail Games poor quality assurance testing before releasing a product that they've charged us for. Dovetail Games has sent me a key for this, by the way. I think they're well aware that I've already bought the key because I've already left a review which pointed to my video. So I think they're just doing that to... I don't know why they're doing that, to be honest with you. Either to like... in an attempt to annoy me, although I don't see how that is supposed to annoy me, but more likely I think it's a political move so that they can say, we did send you a key for this. It's like, yeah, you did send me a key, 2.5 weeks after it was released, and after I'd already bought it myself. I didn't ask for the key, by the way. And they just sent it to me, which is random that they would just randomly send me a key, right? So that video I made recently definitely did, I don't know, tickle a nerve. I've got so much to say about that. I need to put it into a video though. I need to respond directly to Dovetail Games for what they've said, and there's a lot of things I've got to say and clarify and clear up and explain in more detail. So many things to say. So let's try it again. Ready? Alert button. Press it twice. Everything shuts down. And now I can't shut it off. So broken, right? I don't know what else I could do. What else would you have me do, game? That's broken, right? So this is the problem I have, is that I know people who are really experienced with their trains, and they would know 1,000,000% whether that was correct behaviour or not. But I'm not. Especially not with this particular train, even though it's one I've been on and it's one I actually know close up. I'm just not that heavy a train sim fan that I would just automatically know if there was something I'm not doing right here. But I feel like I'm doing everything right, and it's just not behaving. I mean, look at this. Full throttle, RPM is at 14,000. Look how slow we're creeping forwards. What's that all about? The handbrake is definitely not on, because that's putting it on and that's taking it off. I've got both the brakes in release mode. That's running. That's obviously full brake. That's release brake, you can see there. That's the brake cylinder. What can I tell you? I know it's an old train, I know it's going to be slow, but this just doesn't seem to reflect anything properly. So if I don't use the RailDriver controller, then I can acknowledge. If you just let me bind all my buttons and axes, you know, like in a flight simulator, to anything I want, then I don't have any of these problems. But Dovetail Games just cannot seem to get it through their heads. I don't care what you think is good, I care what I think is good. And even if what I think is good isn't good, I don't care, because that's my choice. This is my game. I want to play it the way I want to play it. Why do you feel like you need to dictate to me how I play my game? I asked for controller support when Train Sim World, the original Train Sim World, first came out, the heavy haul. I pushed them to allow us to rebind the keyboard controls, and they acknowledged that they should have done that, and they implemented it. But it's been years, and this is the best they've come up with. Now, the RailDriver is not something I particularly necessarily desperately wanted to buy, but Train Sim World, or Train Sim World 2 as it is now, refuses to develop controller support. So this is the only controller. By the way, an Xbox controller in no way adds to the immersion or the realism of this game, not even slightly. And I'm not even having a go at console players, but I mean, look at the draw distance on this. Look at that. That's embarrassing. There are so many ways you could fix that. You see how all these shadows are like constant? You see how the shadows from the trees are constant? Well, I say constant, they're actually driving in there, aren't they? In fact, everything's driving in there. There needs to be a slider for this. Console players are not being funny, but you are limited by the systems that you run. And the PS5 that's coming out and the Xbox X series, that's going to improve things for you, but you're still not going to be kicking around the same FPS capability of a PC. You're just not. Because you're paying less than a third of the price that most hardcore PC players are playing. And even dated PCs are more powerful than your console. So it's not even just people with the most modern, up-to-date PCs. It's got nothing to do with that. This is just embarrassing. I was watching a fantastic channel, I'm going to tell you all about him later, in another video that is, but I was watching him play Train Sim 2021, I don't even know what it's called anymore, you know, the original Train Sim. And the draw distance on that is much better than it is on here. Much, much, much better. Now I have got draw distance up to Ultra, and I'm still running 36, somewhere between 36 and 42 FPS on 4K in Ultra. Everything's on Ultra. Shadows, distance drawing, foliage, everything is on Ultra. This is as maxed out as you can get this game, and I'm still hitting a solid 41, drops to about 35 occasionally, but that's it. Even in stations, it's only dropping to about 35. So I am capable of pushing this much, much further, the draw distance. I could quite happily drop this from Ultra down to High, which interestingly makes zero difference to my FPS. But I could tweak some other things and make sure that it works. But I mean, I don't even have a proper dead man's foot switch here. I don't have anything that works properly. And this is supposed to, you know, I paid hundreds of pounds for this device to get the immersion experience, and it doesn't even work properly. I know it's in beta. I know it's in beta. That's not good enough. It has been years. They have had so long to sort this out. So long to sort this out. It should be an embarrassment to them. But they just excuse it with babble. The thing is, since I made that video a couple of weeks ago, I've had a lot of software developers leave me messages, and you know, they're astounded at the way Dovetail Games are doing things. And I said to them, oh, do I want to do this now? Do I want to do this conversation now? I don't really. I want to put this into a proper constructed video, but it's just, it's frustrating me so much. No, I'm gonna leave it for the next video. I'm gonna leave it for the next video because I've got so much to say, and examples and stuff that I can really push and explore, and really highlight the problem with Dovetail Games. There are a few problems with Dovetail Games, it has to be said, on a number of levels. But you know, that previous video I made rang a bell with them. It certainly made them sit up and listen. I think they've had conversations and discussions internally about that video and about me, and I can see that certain people have certain opinions of me, which is fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but all you're really doing by voicing that opinion is turning me from a fan trying to help you into an enemy. And you really don't want me as an enemy, because I don't stop, ever. So you keep pushing me the way you're pushing me, and I will keep pushing back. You might be a multi-million-pound company, and I'm just one person. I'm just an individual. But trust me, what I've learned from making that video is there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people, who feel just like I do. And when I expose you, and I expose what you're doing, there's going to be even more, and the more you push back, the more people there are going to be. And this embargo I keep harping on about. Seems to be the only way to get through to you, Dovetail Games. Seems to be the only way to get through to you is to not give you any more money. And the more people that you let down by poorly implementing stuff like this, the more people are going to be willing to, not buy your stuff. And play where you're bringing out a new train sim soon. Bearing in mind it's hot off the press. They are backed by a professional company who actually make training simulators for proper train drivers. That is very exciting for somebody like me. If they implement RailDriver support, in fact, looking at their setup, I'm pretty sure they're going to have controller support across the board. I'm pretty sure in terms of controller support that they're just going to support pretty much everything. They'll allow you to configure your own buttons and whatnot. And there's a few other train sims I'm going to try this RailDriver out on. So this is just my first foray, I guess you could call it. Some things I like about it, some things I'm not so keen of, but they're more sort of knee-jerk reactions, some of them. Yeah, I'm going to do a full unboxing and review on this as well, so I'll give you my honest thoughts, as I always do. But yeah, just the AWS DSD issue that I'm experiencing here is I'm doing 83 miles an hour, supposed to be doing 40. Am I into emergency brake? I am. Why am I in emergency? I haven't got into emergency on here. Problems. Okay, I've slowed down a bit too much here. I think I've gone into emergency brake, so it's just going to stop, isn't it? Okay. $12,000 RPM, start rolling forward. Okay. We're up and running again. Like I say, I don't know this train, I don't know this route, I've never done it once. Certainly haven't done it in this train before. And I haven't done this service actually. No, I've never done this service because this is part of the Diesel Legends pack. So yeah, I've never done this route before. But it's annoying that I'm going into emergency brake before I actually hit. There's a little notch here that stops me from going into emergency brake. One of the things I hate most about the control system in Dovetail games is that it's so easy to accidentally slip into the emergency brake. I'm going to have to be very wary of it here as well. I don't know yet if there's a way I can configure this so that it works differently, but I doubt it. So yeah, it's not very positive, is it? This is... I understand what they're saying about how shadows dramatically reduce performance, but if you look at train sim, the draw distance is considerably better. So maybe just implement shadows on the models and don't have them actually react to shadows. Maybe that's the way forward. I don't know. Unfortunately, I can't help you with everything unless I see the code, and even then I might not be able to be honest with you. But this is poor. This is This is what you expect on a console, and a console player would be fine with this. But a PC player just feels cheated. I do anyway. And I guess, you know, the problem is that locomotives are so very different, but if you just allow us controls to be bound the way we want to bind them. So for example, I could have this axis set up so that it doesn't go into emergency brake, and then I have a button that puts me in emergency brake if I need it, if I want it. The fact that I've got like a 250 pound controller here and I still have to use the keyboard is very annoying. Very annoying. And I don't want to hear that it's in beta. Because, you know, you've got, if you look at the list of train simulators that have been out for years that have full RailDriver support and support for pretty much any other controller, it's just not good enough. It really isn't. I think part of the immersion braking thing is that these throttles and controls don't accurately map to what the train's doing. And that is a shame. That is a shame. Plus, where's my head tracking? I've got so much to say about that recent video they've made. Oh my god. I'm biting my lip not to say things, but you know, head tracking would definitely boost the immersion. I can just look out the window, look over there, look at my controls, look where I like. Not have to use my mouse. At the moment, I've got a 250 pound keyboard, controller, sorry, that still requires me to use a mouse and a keyboard in order to play the game. That's not good. You should be embarrassed by that. You should be very, very, very embarrassed by that. Especially seeing as you did promote that all new releases would have full controller support, right? For RailDriver. Am I right in saying that? I haven't heard you say that, but I have heard people who have told me you have said that. So yeah, I put a little video up, a little question up, just asking people what they thought was in the box, and of course it was this, it was the RailDriver. And I did say there'd be a little gift for somebody, and the little gift is the Diesel Legends DLC. And it really is a little gift, because I think a lot of people might not actually want it, truth be told. But that's the gift. But as yet, nobody has guessed what is in the box. So I may have to find another way of giving that key away. Again, it's a key. It's a spare key now. Still 125, 45 over there. So broken. Trying to think of a better analogy for DTG. I got disappointment for the first letter. If you've got any ideas for the other two, I mean, the third one clearly could be games. What could T be? I thought tardy could work. Disappointing tardy games. That's kind of how I feel about them. And if they just acknowledge the fact that the way they're developing is not sustainable and make that change, they could really save themselves a lot of bother. Oh, starting to panic then. I couldn't tell if that red was for me. Nine miles out. So we're basically doing like a speed run through, aren't we? The artwork, the graphics, the way that they build the engines, sublime. I think everybody agrees. It looks the biz. It's just everything else is lacking. The audio is lacking. Too many bugs. The pricing doesn't accurately reflect the quality that you're getting. It's just, they don't seem to care that we're not impressed by that. In fact, they're actively trying to quash anyone who has anything remotely negative or constructive to say. It's infuriating. I really do have a lot to say about Dovetail Games. There's a lot people don't know out there, I think, and they should know, because Dovetail Games like to pull the wool over people's eyes, especially Sam, I'm starting to see, or Colonel, I pledge my allegiance to the highest payer. He likes to, well, I say pull the wool over people's eyes. There is part of me that suspects he doesn't actually know how to code. So it might be that someone is pulling the wool over his eyes and he's just not knowledgeable enough to know that. Still trying to work the man out. I really don't know if I like him or not. And I know a lot of you don't. There's a lot of you who think it's fine. A lot of you who don't think it's fine. Safety signs added. What the hell was that? Crappy audio. Yeah, crappy horn audio. Really bad. Thought I'd gone through a red then. Mini panic. Right, I could kill this off now. I don't know why I'm still going flat out. 4.8 miles, we're doing 90 mile an hour. Quite impressed. One thing you can say about trains of old, they really were built to last, weren't they? Oops. Yeah, it does look good. I mean, when you're looking at it from outside, it looks good. What's going on here? Thought we were slowing down then. I think I can accelerate again, but I'm loath to. I was supposed to be doing 50. I'm speeding. Now 30 over 50, I don't know what that means. I'm doing 50 because I think I'm supposed to be doing 50, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm meant to be doing 30. Difficult to know for sure. Maybe 50 is the speed I'm meant to be doing and 30 is the next speed limit coming up. That kind of makes sense, but I'm totally guessing at that. Mile an hour. With the only green light in the village, it looks like. Still 40. We're a little bit under speed, but that's okay. I'd rather be there than over. The only yellow in the village. Okay, so I'm going to drop the throttle off. I'm going to roll her in. Bear in mind, I haven't driven this train. So my knowledge of when to start braking is severely missing. I'm going to start braking now though, because I think 25 mile an hour seems to be like a decent speed for where we are in position to the world. Yep, there you go, 25 mile an hour. A little bit of oomph required to get us to the end of the runway. There we go, guys and girls. What are we doing? Unlocking right hand doors. So that is officially my first ever run with the RailDriver on Train Sim World 2. Mixed bag. Not because of the device, but because of the game. Now if I did something wrong, if I misunderstood something, I mean, maybe there's a sensor in the chair that means you do have to stand up before you can acknowledge the alert. I don't know. You know, I'm always open to learning new things, so don't feel like you can't correct me. My name is not Dovetail Games. I am a human being. I am capable of making mistakes and being wrong. Totally acknowledge that. So, you know, have you experienced this? Have you been in a position in Train Sim World where you cannot, no matter what you try and do, acknowledge the alerts? Not good, is it? Oh, look at that. That's, you can see where the emergency brake came on a couple of times. But yeah, we didn't do any speeding. I might have just smidged over it at the end there. But no, I think I did pretty good for my first go. What did we get? Is that gold? I think I love this idea, but it's far too easy. If I'm going to get the highest reward for that, maybe that's a bronze, I don't know. But then, I mean, you can't really blame me for that because the game was behaving most erratically. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. There will be a review coming on this. There will be a proper review coming on Diesel Legends, although you know, I think the truth is out. I think everybody before it even released knew what to expect, and let me just say, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So that's kind of where we are. I kind of enjoyed that. I certainly did get more immersion using the RailDriver, and I think it's Train Sim World which is making that less immersive than it could be. But I'll keep playing with it. I'll keep uploading some videos so you can see how we progress. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed that. Oh look, I've just seen that, look. 118,000 out of a maximum 125,000. That's not too... Oh no, is that the next level up? Oh, okay, so that's how little I play this game, to be honest with you. Well, total scores there, 5,509. Is that good? Is that bad? I have no idea. Also, I mean, it's a 150 mile an hour limit, but this train doesn't ever get up to 150 mile an hour, so is that score taking that into account? Lots of questions, very few answers. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. Please do hit the like button. Please do leave me a comment, I love to hear from you guys. And if you've got any constructive feedback, then, you know, please don't hesitate. I love to learn things, so the more I learn, the better I can do next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Goodbye for now.